Welcome to the Community Collective podcast. I'm Johnny B. Good, the flip-flop agent, and I've partnered with the Davison Area Chamber of Commerce to bring you the stories that shape our local communities. In our third season, our focus is about connecting, learning, and celebrating the voices that make our communities unique. Join us during this third season as we engage in thoughtful conversations and insightful moments. This podcast is commercial-free and supported by both myself, my co-host, and our guests. We would be so appreciative if you could like, share, and subscribe as we continue having conversations that matter and cannot thank you enough for taking the time to listen. This episode of the Community Collective podcast delves into critical and sensitive topics, which include mental health and the impacts of suicide. Our discussions aim to foster understanding, share personal experiences, and highlight the importance of community support. However, please be aware that some content may be challenging or triggering for some listeners. If you or someone you know is struggling, we encourage reaching out to a trusted individual or professional for support. Remember, it's okay to ask for help, and resources like the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing or texting 988 are available. Listener discretion is advised. Holy moly, it is another episode of the Community Collective podcast. And man, oh man, it has been a whirlwind of a day. You know, if we're going to be honest about it, this is our fifth podcast we're recording today. So I am just talked out, but I'm not talked out in so much that I will not engage with this amazing interview we're having today. The final interview of today is one that is so important for all of us to listen to. But before we get into introducing our special guest and having a conversation with them, Travis, we've done it, man. We've done it. We've almost
Oh,
finished an entire day. How are you feeling?
oh man. I'm with you. I am exhausted from just like taking in so much information today and being on the computer. But I tell you, I will never get tired of talking with our guest today. She always has a smile on her face, and I feel like we both always love when we're around her because we can always get a good cup of coffee as well.
Oh, absolutely. And let me just be clear. Not only does she caffeinate me, but she's got some really good energy that I vibe with. So I'm a huge fan of that because frankly, Lord only knows what's ever coming out of my mouth. And she takes it all in stride. And we're always having a laugh. We're always joking around. We're like a bunch of middle schoolers. So I am looking forward to today's interview for sure.
Well, our guest today, and we're excited to talk to her, Pam Weier. I'm the owner of Big Apple Bagel, Davison, and one of our good friends. Pam, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, good. So I know you've had a busy day of just improving people's personalities and caffeinating them and giving them good food. So thanks for, yeah, we're just excited that you're taking some time to kind of really have a good conversation about getting to know you, but also something that's near and dear to your heart that I think is going to be a very important conversation for our listeners and for our community. Could you share with us the story behind purchasing Big Apple Bagel in Davison and how this decision honors the memory of your beautiful daughter, Emma?
It was a decision that actually I didn't even think that I was going to be interested in. Those who know me don't even know that I don't even like coffee. I didn't know anything about bagels, muffins, or anything. My daughter actually used to work for my best friend who owns Big Apple Bagels in Davison or in Fenton. Helped her get it started. Um, when the time when my daughter passed away, she had spoken to me and had said to me, "Mom, I just want to learn at the Fenton store, and eventually I want to go over to the Davison store and I want to manage it." So when she passed away and the store became available, I decided in honor of her that she couldn't make that dream come true, so I had to do it for her. It was something that was near and dear to her heart, so therefore it was near and dear to my heart, and it was something, a dream that of many that I am trying to accomplish for her since she's no longer here.
And I know from the very first time I got to meet you, you are always, for as difficult as a story that you share, and but you have always been outgoing about it and sharing and wanting to spread a message of what you have going on. And I know I always enjoy when I go in to Big Apple. And this is not only my place where I get coffee, but a lot of times where I sit and have meetings. It is my office away from
Yep.
home. Um,
The
it
girls
really is.
have come to love you, Travis. They see you come in and you brighten their day.
Well, that's great. You have a wonderful team there. And, when I think about what you're doing there, you've created an environment for your team and the girls working there that I think really shows the community how much you care and that you're making it a place that people want to come to, that they feel safe. They know they're going to get something good and they're going to be greeted with a smile no matter how busy or stressed out the team is. And I love that. I love when I go in there, they're talking, they're excited, and I can see why your daughter loved Big Apple Bagel and wanted to be part of that team and manage a store. Um, is and I never had an opportunity to meet her, but when I hear you and others talk about her, it seems like she really was a perfect fit to be part of a team like that. That when you go in, that there's a smile in greeting you, and I think that's something that is important, and I think your team there really shows what it's like to be part of that.
Well, and that was something that I feel it was lacking a little bit before I took over. I feel like they were a little stressed out because they didn't have a whole lot of help and they also didn't have anybody. I think that having a store that the owner loves being there, it also rubs off to the staff, and so therefore, they have a newfound love of the people that come in. They love our customers, they love our regulars, they love you guys when you come in, you just brighten their day, and I think that, if I stay positive, no matter what kinda day I'm having, it doesn't matter I could be having a super bad day, and just like you said, I'm still gonna have a smile on my face because at the end of the day, um, I that's my happy place. The Big Apple Bagel has become my happy place, and so I'm the happiest when I'm there. And so
Yeah.
I want when you guys come in or a customer comes in, I want that to be a good experience. And even if their world is falling apart around them, when they walk in through that door, I want it to be maybe the only happy thing that they have done that day. And that would make and that makes me happy. So, whether it's my
And
staff or a customer that comes in.
right. And you've mentioned how, that makes you feel. And I think you've mentioned before the profound impact of Emma's passing on your life. How has managing Big Apple Bagel here in Davison helped you in your journey of healing and finding a purpose to just for yourself, your family, but then also what it means to everybody?
So like you said, I'm not quiet about my journey. I can't keep my daughter's legacy alive if I stay quiet. I'm also um very um loud about the fact that I wasn't in a good place after my daughter passed. Um, and when I bought Big Apple Bagel, it was rough for me. I was having a hard time getting out of bed. I wasn't even starting my day until 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I was sleeping all the time. I had no drive. There was nothing to look forward to. And as soon as I stepped foot and took over Big Apple, um, I mean, most days I wasn't up until noon, and now I'm up every day, 7 days a week, between 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? I don't mind. I enjoy it. There's not a day that I don't wake up and I'm like, I love getting up and going to work, even at 4 o'clock in the morning, having to drive these icy roads like we had to drive this morning. I look forward to it because now I feel like every moment that I'm there or I step foot in that store, I am honoring her yet another day. And so that that has now given me purpose to live. And it gives me, and I know that when I'm there, there's going to be a day. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, it might not even be till next month. But eventually somebody's gonna come in and they're gonna ask me about my daughter, and I'm gonna get to tell her story. And that's what it is for me. The more I get to tell my daughter's story, maybe, just maybe, um, I can help somebody. I can help somebody who doesn't know where to go to turn for help, or doesn't know what to do to help their child. So, and in the end, maybe that will help one parent not have to walk in the shoes that I'm walking in right now. And that is my drive now.
I love that you're honest about it, and I know it's a very emotional thing to really, I'm sure, feel. And we've mentioned before, we're all parents, and I mean it's a hard situation. I don't know what it's like, that what you've been through, but I see how much she continues to mean so much to you. And then I see the photos of her at Big Apple, and
Mm.
I just can imagine when someone talks to you and asks you about her, what a wonderful, opportunity that she's continuing to be with you and say, "Hey, mom, this is something that you can share with these people when they see my photo, when they see me, as in my dance team, uniform." And I think that, and you guys both, I think, isn't there a picture of you guys both like in a Big Apple shirt or something? I
Yep,
think too.
yep,
Yes.
that was when she worked for my girlfriend, and we did, I think, the Taste of Fenton, and so it was during COVID. So,
Yes.
yep,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. And I think
uh-huh.
that's great. And it really seems that the Davison community has played a significant role in supporting you throughout your journey. Can you talk about how the community support has influenced both
Oh.
your personal healing and the success of your business?
Oh my gosh, they have been the Davison community. Most people know I was not Davison born and raised. My husband was, but I was not. And I moved to Davison about 10 years ago, maybe 11 at this point now. And after what has happened, it has shown to me this community might be small, but it's very mighty. This community, not only after my daughter passed away, random people who I don't even know found out about my daughter and what had happened, and were sending me words of encouragement via, you know, Facebook Messenger, would find me on Facebook, find my number and text me and send me encouraging words, letting me know what kind of, that, no matter what happened, what a good mom I was. Um, and that, believe it or not, one small word is, I'm very sorry for your loss. You've got this, mama, is more to me than what you think. Um, it had helped me get the courage to open up the bagel shop, not open, but to take over the store, and to and the influx of people who have come in and, either read the story and came in because they want to make sure that the business is doing well simply because of the cause that I'm trying to do, or coming in and saying, I read your story online, and, it's great that you're trying to get the word out on mental health awareness, and just coming in and supporting me in that way. I love that. Even if it's just, a small coffee, it's, it makes me feel that my purpose on getting mental health awareness out there through the business is working. And again, and that's what this is all about. We all, I'm not quiet about how my daughter passed. She did take her own life, and it's one um diagnosis that has a very, very bad stigma against it, and people don't want to talk about it. And I'm here and I want to talk about it. And that's why my daughter's not here, is because she didn't feel that she could talk about it. it's a hush hush topic, and it shouldn't be. It should be no, it shouldn't be. It should be diagnosed and treated no differently than if somebody had a diagnosis of cancer. And I feel very strongly about that. And this community has proven that mental health awareness is not something that should be brushed under the rug. People are open to hear about it, to talk about it. They want to. They just don't know how. And
Which
that's how the community has been supportive of me. And I love the Davison community and will forever.
And I think that's great. And I think getting this conversation constantly going is a good thing. It needs to become a part of every part of our society, whether
Mhm.
you're, a high school student or an adult. We all struggle with something at some point. And I think this is always, mental health is such an important area that we really need to focus on a lot. And I'm so glad that you're doing it and you're finding a positive way and you're having fun with what you're doing with your business and then incorporating your family and the we're excited as a chamber to have you part of our team because you bring so much to what we're doing and the role we're going to play in the community and I just really appreciate all that you do.
Aw.
Plus, it's always so nice to see you and your team, and just hear what's going on.
Aw, well, thank you. We love it too, and I will always do whatever is needed of me for the community, and that is my way of giving back to them for being there for me emotionally. So I love it. I love being a part of the chamber. I love coming and seeing all of you guys, and again, it's a highlight of my day too. So it's it's mutual.
So Pam, we love to hear that, and you are so very important to the community at large. One of the things that you were able to do last year is, could you tell us a little bit more about the mental health awareness fundraiser that you guys were able to hold? I believe you held it with Kevin over at Davison Pharmacy. What inspired this event? What did you hope to achieve through it? And are we looking forward to future events? How did that all play out?
So, Kevin Welch, who is the owner of Davison Pharmacy, came to me. He had heard this band. The singer is Brian Dunn. Um, Brian Dunn is somebody that also suffers from mental health issues, depression, anxiety. If you listen to some of his music, you actually will hear in the words him talking about his mental health. Um, and so Kevin and I kind of sat down and talked and have wanted to start, well, we want to start a nonprofit organization in honor of Emma and called Let's Talk About It. Um, so the concert was like our first benefit to raise money to get more information, host more um, at the end of the day, what we would like to do is hold some kind of conference for mental health awareness for the community, starting with the school, teachers, counselors, uh, police officers, firefighters, um, and then reaching out to the parents and students and getting the word out on signs and symptoms of what to look for when somebody is struggling and maybe in those last few days what to look for, because at the end of the day there are signs. If you don't know what the signs are, you will not see them until that person is no longer here. I will tell you. And so um another thing that we would like to do with this nonprofit is eventually have uh, be able to give oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought. A
That's
donation. Yeah, so a donation to a child who had struggled maybe through school, um, and give them some money towards college, a scholarship. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. A scholarship. We want to have a scholarship fund. Pick a student, work with the counselors, work with the teachers, and maybe give a scholarship to a child who struggled mentally through their years of high school and almost reward them going, "You did it. You worked through your illness, you worked through school and you did it." Um, and to reward them. So this was our kickoff to get that nonprofit started. Of course, it was our first, so the turnout was a little lower than what we had expected. But we are going to try to book Brian again for next year, and we are trying to come up with more fundraisers to get this nonprofit started. Um, and again, it will be geared all towards mental health awareness, starting with the Davison community and educating the community, and that means everybody in the community. So I'm very excited about it. Kevin is very excited about it, obviously, and he's very forward too about, he has struggled in the past, and obviously with everything that has happened with my daughter, I struggle now. I never used to, and I'm not ashamed to say I have my bad days. There are days that, it's still a little hard for me to get out of bed some mornings, but, for me, I work through it and I have something I look forward to every day. And that's what I want to give to the community through this nonprofit and through events like we did for the concert with Brian Dunn, which was so fun and so amazing. And if you guys did not get to go, when we do it again, you have to come. Brian Dunn and his band are so um level-headed and fun, and they were just amazing. I enjoyed having them. They were fun to be with, to socialize with, and great. I got to actually take them to the airport the next morning. So that
Oh,
was kinda
wow.
cool. Yeah, I did. I mean, instead of getting up at 4 in the morning, I had to get up at 2 in the morning, but that's okay.
Oh, there you go. So you were kind of working like a roadie, so that's perfect.
Right. It was I was the roadie.
I think what I love to hear the most about this conversation, and again, it's a difficult conversation as a parent of 4 young kids, of course it is. But it's about removing the stigma about having the conversation. It's
Yep.
not there's not a cure. It's removing the stigma so that you can have the conversation and you can face the struggle head on as opposed to feeling so alone and individualized and lacking a support group. Removing the stigma will allow us to have those conversations with young people, with old people, with middle-aged people who I will gladly wear that crown. You
Mhm.
know, it,
Absolutely.
and it's
Absolutely.
the stigma. So I mean, I want to applaud you first and foremost for understanding that it's not looking for a cure.
Yeah.
We're not curing cancer. We're having conversations and we're having meaningful conversations that will help us discover things about ourselves and about others that we have a support system that we can all lean on. So I mean, kudos to you, Pam, for doing the work, and something amazing coming out of something so tragic. A lot of credit goes to you and the people that, helped organize this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. So hopefully there'll be more to come soon, hopefully.
Amazing, amazing. So you've expressed a strong commitment, obviously, to keeping mental health awareness at the forefront. Could you elaborate on some of the steps maybe that you've taken, you know, at Big Apple Bagel to support this with your team there and, customers coming in and things like that?
So what I've done so far is, and I actually don't even feel like I've done enough, but the one thing that I strive at my store, a lot of times we all know when you are with teenagers, most of my staff are teenagers or very young adults. There's drama. There's always drama. And I'm not gonna, there's when you work with teenagers, there's bullying. They may not know that they're doing it, but they're doing it. And so I have strived that in my place of work, it's not tolerated. And again, if I don't know about it, I can't fix it. And so I've told my staff, it's not okay. We're going to be drama free. This is
Yep,
this is a place where I want kids to come to, and like I said, even if they go home and their world around them is falling apart, I want them to know that they're, at least when they come to work, it's a safe place.
sure.
They're not going to get judged. They are not going to get bullied. They are not, it's going to be a judgment-free zone. And that has been and I've told the kids from the get-go, I will not tolerate it. And if it's something that continues, you will be let go. And I'm not, there's been a few kids that have tried, and I may not have let them go, but they went on their own. And that's okay. And maybe this wasn't the place for them. But I want people to know that when a customer comes in, it's going to be the same treatment. You know, we're not going to tolerate that. I do want to say, as far as the community is concerned, to try to get more of the education out within my store, I actually, unfortunately, found out yesterday that one of my very good friends that I used to work with in my other world, in the hospice world, her son just died by suicide on the second.
Oh my
And
gosh.
um, and again, this is just hitting it's too close to home. It's I should not know another person in my world who is going through this.
Right.
And so I reached out to a customer that I met through my store, and her husband had died by suicide quite a few years ago. She's young in her 20s, and her and I are actually going to meet next week, and we are going to do a memorial service at my store for those that have lost either a child, a husband, a friend, whomever by suicide, and we're going to do a memorial service at the store. So next week, I'm I'm excited to plan it, but I'm sad that I have to plan it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sad that people are going through that, and it breaks my heart. But so that is one thing that is going to be coming out hopefully within the next week or two. We'll have a date and we'll get things started. So certainly I'll let the chamber know when I get that started, and I want it to be open to everybody in the community. Um Again, it will be a safe place for people to come and remember their loved ones, because even though they may have died by suicide, they should not be forgotten. So it'll be a chance to remember those, honor those, um, and possibly light a candle for them. So it just breaks my heart, that there's another mama out there walking the shoes that I have to walk in. And I really didn't want to have a friend that is walking in my shoes. This is a shoes that I would prefer to walk alone in and not have to hold a hand. But unfortunately, life happens, and I can just be there for her.
And such a wonderful thing that you can create like a place where people can go and know I'm safe here. There's people that I can relate to during this difficult time.
Mhm. Yep. And that was the whole point of me having the store. Yes, to be able to be an owner, but that wasn't my main reason. My main reason is for the cause that I'm trying to do. So, and I'm glad that the word is getting out about that. So that makes me happy.
Yeah. So I think it really shows that it's even a difficult time that based on your personal experiences and insights, what message or advice would you like to share with others who might be struggling with mental health issues or facing similar challenges? And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you could really just talk to people right now that are listening, or a way that we can share a little bit of it, what's something you like to share with them?
Honestly, here's what I'm going to say, and and I think I've said it already. Um, don't allow the stigma of mental health steer you away of getting the help that you need. Taking a pill to help yourself, who, if you have cancer or diabetes or you have a cold, is no different than taking a pill to help your brain um, get to where it needs to be. Get the help you need. Go talk to somebody. If you are, a teenager or a preteen, because honestly, mental health starts so super young. Usually around the age 10, 11, 12 is when it usually starts. Go talk to a counselor, go talk to a teacher. Most people are not going to talk to a parent or even a close friend because they don't want to feel judged. Find somebody that you can talk to and that can help you. Don't be afraid to open up and say, I'm not okay, because I've even had to do that. It's okay to say I'm not okay. It's okay to talk. Um, and at the end of the day, if you don't know where to turn to, there is a simple little number that you can call that is just as important as the number 911, and that's the number 988. There are professionals that is a mental health hotline to help with situations. If you are out there and you are struggling and you are even remotely thinking about taking your life, please, please call that number and and do what you need to do to get better, because life is so this world will be so much better with you in it than with you not in it. It affects everybody. It affects more people than what you know. So I just encourage anybody who is listening and who is struggling and hasn't received any help, please, um, please call somebody, because there are people out there who care enough to help you. Um, and from a struggling mom who has to live every single day without her daughter and who wished that she would have said, "Mom, I'm not okay." Um, Please say something.
Well, Pam, I know this was a conversation that so many people need to hear. We really appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to really just one talk to us, but also to share resources and that people know that Big Apple Davison is a safe place to go. They can talk to you. But then remind me of the number again that people can call if they need to.
988.
So 988. And
Mhm.
Pam, we really do appreciate you sharing a little bit more about your family and how important Emma is, I think, to all of us in spreading this awareness and information to people. And it does. It means a lot, I think, to so many people, and they need to know about what's going on to keep this conversation going. But it's also nice just to spend some more time with you and talk with you. And I know Johnny and I appreciate all that you do in our community and the important role that Big Apple Bagel Davison is already playing. And we're looking forward to seeing what the future holds and how your business is going to grow and influence so much in our area.
Aw, well, thank you. I've always enjoyed talking with Johnny B and Travis. You guys are always, even if I'm going somewhere and I'm not having a smile on my face, I can look at you guys, have a conversation and smile. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys always being there and being so encouraging and being just as supportive. So I do appreciate the both of you.
Well, Pam, go and get your nails did. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. This was an amazing and utterly important episode for the Community Collective. So thank you again for coming out, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. I hope you have a good one.
Thanks, Pam.
Alrighty.
And that wraps up another heartfelt episode of the Community Collective podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guest, Pam Weier, for sharing her powerful story and the impactful work she's doing in honor of her daughter, Emma. It's conversations like these that remind us of the strength found in vulnerability and the importance of coming together to support one another. Remember, you're not alone, and there's strength in seeking help and opening up about mental health. If today's episode moved you, sparked a thought, or you know someone who could benefit from hearing this conversation, please share it. Let's continue to build a community where open discussions on mental health are not just welcomed, but encouraged. For more stories, insights, and conversations that matter to you, keep tuning in to the Community Collective podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, let's keep the dialogue going and support each other. Remember, together, we're stronger.